Have you ever noticed that the harder you try to prove your innocence, the guiltier you seem? That standing up for yourself often backfires, making you look weak or defensive, while those who cause harm walk away without consequence. But here's something most people don't realise. The moment you stop reacting, stop justifying, and stop worrying about how others perceive you, karma quietly takes over. It's like quicksand. The more you struggle against lies and manipulation, the deeper you sink. But when you become still, you rise effortlessly. Imagine dropping a stone into still water. Every action creates ripples that eventually return to their source. That's how karma works. The negativity people put out, the harm they inflict on others, always finds its way back. So while others plot, provoke, and manipulate, you have a choice. Get pulled into their chaos, or step back and let karma unfold. Because the moment you embrace silence, their own actions start to catch up with them. Their negativity becomes their downfall. Today, I'm going to show you exactly when to stay silent and let karma handle what words never could. Don't skip any part of this video. By the end, you'll see silence and stoic wisdom in a whole new way. If you find value in what we're discussing here, a simple free way to support us is to hit that subscribe button and don't skip any part of the video. Each piece of information could be the key to unlocking deeper insights into human nature and your personal peace of mind. Alright, let's get into it. Dealing with people who twist reality to damage your reputation is exhausting, isn't it? It feels deeply unfair. You're just living your life, staying true to yourself, when suddenly, bam, someone starts spreading a completely false narrative about you. Your instinct tells you to jump in, correct every lie, and passionately defend yourself. And trust me, I get it. I've been there. It's tough to watch people distort the truth without stepping in. But here's a powerful lesson rooted in stoic wisdom. Sometimes the strongest response isn't fighting back. It's choosing silence. Think about this. The more energy you give to a lie, the more power it gains. It's like trying to put out a wildfire by blowing on it. It only spreads further. Marcus Aurelius once said, "If it's not right, don't do it. If it's not true, don't say it." In other words, live with integrity and trust that time will reveal the truth. People who rely on deception want you to react. They thrive on drama because your response gives credibility to their lies. Every word you say can be twisted into more ammunition against you. So why give them that power? Instead, take a deep breath, step back, and let your actions do the talking. Here's something interesting I've learned from experience. Lies have an expiration date. Truth, on the other hand, is timeless. Eventually, dishonesty collapses under the weight of its own contradictions. Stoicism teaches us that our greatest power lies in how we choose to respond or not respond. By refusing to engage, you demonstrate strength, not weakness. Your silence becomes a mirror, reflecting their negativity back at them. Let me share a quick story about my friend Mark. Mark had a co-worker who spread nasty rumours about him, claiming he manipulated results at work to get ahead. The gossip spread fast, and suddenly his co-workers started doubting him. It was a tough situation. His first instinct was to go around defending himself, proving that his innocence to everyone. But instead he chose a different path. He said nothing. He stayed focused, kept his head down, and continued doing his job with excellence. And sure enough, after a few weeks, people started noticing something odd. The co-worker who spread the rumours had a habit of stirring up drama. Her stories never fully added up, and just like that, the lie crumbled under its own weight. So, the next time someone tries to damage your reputation with lies, remember Mark's approach, and remind yourself of this key Stoic principle. Silence isn't surrender, it's a statement. And in the end, truth always stands the test of time. Your character is defined by your actions, not by what others think of you. No matter how confusing or unfair things feel right now, trust that the truth will always reveal itself. Be patient, control your emotions, and give karma the space to do what words never could. because at the end of the day, silence, when paired with integrity, speaks louder than any explanation ever will. We've all felt that gut punch moment. Someone you trusted deeply does something you never expected. Suddenly, everything you believed about them feels uncertain. Your mind races, your heart sinks, and you wonder how you missed the signs. In that moment, your first instinct might be confrontation, you want answers, an apology, or at least the satisfaction of seeing regret in their eyes. But let's pause and consider a powerful lesson from Stoicism. Marcus A. So the next time someone takes a jab at you, whether it's direct, subtle, or disguised as humour, pause before reacting. Remind yourself that their words say far more about them than they ever could about you. People who lash out often do so because they're struggling with their own frustrations, insecurities, or feelings of inadequacy. Your calm silence or quiet indifference. That's the most powerful response you can give. It shines a light on their negativity without dragging you down to their level. Choosing not to engage isn't weakness. It's the ultimate display of strength, dignity, and self-control. It shows that you're confident in yourself, unshaken by petty remarks, and unwilling to waste your energy on someone else's negativity. And trust me, nothing frustrates an insulter more than realizing they have zero power over you. Here's a simple but effective strategy you can use immediately. The next time someone tries to get under your skin, pause. Smile genuinely. Say nothing, or if you feel the need to respond, keep it neutral. Try something like, "That's an interesting perspective," or even better, "Thanks for sharing." Then watch as their confidence wavers, realizing their attempt to provoke you fell flat. Now, let's talk about those people who always seem to twist the narrative, making themselves look innocent while painting you as the villain. You know the type. They conveniently leave out key details, manipulate the story in their favour, and somehow always manage to gain sympathy. Stoicism offers a powerful perspective on this. Marcus Aurelius once said, "You have power over your mind, not outside events. Realise this, and you will find strength." In other words, while you can't prevent someone from playing the victim, you can control how you respond. People who manipulate narratives thrive on your reactions. The more you try to explain, defend, or set the record straight, the more ammunition you give them. It sounds irrational, but the more logical and passionate your response, the easier it is for them to twist it into another attack. This is why silence or calm detachment is your strongest move. When you refuse to engage in their drama, you take away its fuel. Stoicism teaches us that true peace comes from inner clarity, not from proving ourselves to others. When you know your truth, you don't have to convince anyone else. Letting their false narrative pass without your emotional investment is an act of quiet strength. And here's an undeniable truth. People who constantly play the victim eventually expose themselves. Over time, patterns emerge. Those around them start noticing that they're always at the centre of some conflict. As Epictetus wisely put it, freedom is the only worthy goal. It is won by disregarding things beyond your control. You can't control their manipulations, but you can absolutely control whether or not you participate. Think of it this way. By refusing to react, you're silently saying, "I won't be a character in your story." This kind of silence isn't weakness, it's a strategic decision. It creates space for the truth to reveal itself. When you calmly step back, your absence speaks louder than any argument ever could. And the thing about karma? It works best when you step out of the way. Without your reactions feeding the lie, people start to see the inconsistencies on their own. You don't have to force the truth. Life has a way of revealing it all in time. It's a strange and frustrating feeling when you give your best, whether in relationships, friendships, or your career, only to feel completely overlooked. You show up, you contribute, you put in the effort, yet somehow your presence seems invisible. The natural instinct to try even harder, to speak louder, to prove once and for all just how valuable you are. But here's the hard truth. Chasing recognition rarely earns you respect. In fact, it often has the opposite effect. It makes people take you for granted even more. This is where Stoic wisdom offers clarity. Marcus Aurelius once observed, "It never ceases to amaze me. We love ourselves more than other people, but care more about their opinions than our own." Let that sink in. How often do we let someone else's failure to acknowledge our worth dictate how we feel about ourselves? When you rely on others to validate your value, you give them power over your self-worth. But why should anyone be responsible for defining your worth? Here's a difficult but empowering truth. Seeking recognition or demanding appreciation often has the opposite effect. It signals neediness, not strength. Stoicism teaches that self-respect must always come first. If someone consistently fails to recognize your efforts, the most powerful move isn't to demand their attention, it's to quietly step back, not in anger, not in frustration, just in calm self-assurance. Because when you remove your constant availability, people notice. Your absence speaks louder than any plea for recognition ever could. Think about how we take everyday luxuries for granted, like running water, electricity, or even Wi-Fi. We barely acknowledge them until they're gone. Then we realize just how essential they were. The same principle applies to relationships and workplaces. When you stop overextending yourself, people begin to feel your absence, and that's when they truly understand your value. I'll share something personal. There was a time when I constantly went the extra mile, hoping someone would finally see me, acknowledge my effort, and appreciate what I brought to the table. But the more I tried, the more I seemed to fade into the background. Eventually, I embraced a simple yet profound Stoic truth. You cannot control how much someone values you, and the moment I stopped seeking recognition, that's when I truly reclaimed my power. You can't control whether others undervalue you, but you can control whether you tolerate it. So I quietly stepped back. No dramatic exit, no pleas for recognition. I simply stopped pouring energy into something that wasn't reciprocating. Almost immediately, my absence was noticed. People started asking questions, wondering why things weren't running as smoothly. And while that validation felt nice, the real victory was the self-respect I regained in the process. I realized that true appreciation can't be forced. It has to happen naturally. When it doesn't, it's a sign that your energy is being invested in the wrong place. This is Stoicism at its finest, finding dignity in your own actions rather than chasing external validation. Seneca once said, "It is a rough road that leads to the heights of greatness," meaning true self-worth isn't built on applause or recognition. It's forged through resilience, quiet confidence, and unwavering inner strength. So, the next time you feel overlooked or unappreciated, don't try harder to be seen. Become quieter. Let your absence speak for you. When you remove yourself, those who truly value you will notice and seek you out, while those who never did will fade away, making space for the right people and opportunities. You know those moments when you're feeling calm, fully in control, and then someone comes along and deliberately tries to rattle you. Maybe it's a sarcastic comment, a passive-aggressive remark, or even just a smug look designed to provoke you. It's like they're holding a match, just waiting for you to ignite. And the moment you react, boom, you've given them exactly what they wanted. The instinct is to snap back, defend yourself, or at least make sure they know you see through their game. But Stoicism offers a more powerful response. Marcus Aurelius said, "You have power over your mind, not outside events. Realize this, and you will find strength. The only reason someone tries to provoke you is because they want to control your emotions. Your reaction is their victory. The moment you respond with anger, frustration, or defensiveness, you've handed them control over your peace. But here's the secret. Choosing calm indifference completely disarms them. Instead of getting the reaction they crave, they're left standing there, confused, wondering why their tactics aren't working. They throw out bait expecting a fight, and instead, they get nothing. Nothing frustrates someone who thrives on drama more than being ignored. Stoicism teaches that emotional control isn't passive, it's the ultimate power. Epictetus put it best: any person capable of angering you becomes your master. Think about that. Would you really give someone else the power to dictate your emotions? Of course not. Your peace, your self-control, that's your stronghold. And the moment you realise that, you become untouchable. The moment you let someone's provocations shake you, you've handed them control over your inner peace. Instead of reacting emotionally, try this. The next time someone tries to push your buttons, pause for just a couple of seconds. Take a breath. Remind yourself that their behaviour is a reflection of them, their own struggles, insecurities, or frustrations, not of you. Visualise yourself standing firmly behind an unshakable fortress, untouchable, unaffected. Offer a slight nod or a calm smile, then simply move on. Watch how their confidence falters when they realise they have no power over you. Here's a shift in perspective. Every attempt to provoke you is actually a disguised compliment. Strange as it sounds, the